Justin Fields also really good the last 2 weeks. He's been the quarterback 1 each of the last 2 weeks. He's been a top 5 quarterback each of the last 4 weeks. At least he's throwing 20 passes a game, right? That was the worry at the beginning of the year was, when are they going to unleash him? When is Edward Levis going to unleash Justin Fields? And we've seen him now unleashed, what was it, 178 rushing yards, quarterback rushing record.
I mean, I think that's just confidence. I don't think that's unleashed.
Is it?
You know, and he did that earlier in the season, and they called back the 50-yard run with a penalty. So there's been randomness. I mean, I played that 50-yard run on my podcast, and I was like, imagine, I was like, what if? Right? What if this run had counted? How would people perceive this guy? You got to get him, you know, weeks before he had the actual breakout. But I mean, that was pretty impressive. I mean, he had some real stinkers in there.
He did.
I mean, we're talking about like 70 passing yards and 2 interceptions. I mean, it was crazy.
We thought that it was Matt Nagy 2.0, you know, at one point, of like how they were using Justin Fields. It was disgusting. It was not good, but you trust the process with these athletic quarterbacks that eventually they'll figure it out. Josh Allen eventually figured it out. Fields is figuring it out earlier than Josh Allen did. And I think if Fields, because we know he has touch on the deep ball. We saw it at Ohio State. We've seen it in flashes. So I think that there's going to be a big week for Mooney coming up. I'm trying to get out ahead of it. That's what I'm hearing from multiple sources, is that Mooney's going to have a big week this week. And I think it's within the range of outcomes. I don't know about you, Matt, but Justin Fields versus Lamar Jackson, is it only a matter of time that Fields can take over Jackson if Fields gets an alpha next year like Smith and Jigba? I mean, I hope so. That would be cool, right? I mean, let's see, where will they be picking in the draft? The Giants, they're 7-2. Bears are 3-7. Wow. So the Bears are the same record as the Panthers. Oh my God. How is that possible? Because they've got a bad defense, Matt. They've got a bad defense. God. You know, the Saints, that's why you got to be in on Justin Fields. Oh, isn't that funny? Yeah. But anyway, yes, that was one of the worst trades. I mean, great, congrats on getting Olave, but one of the worst trades to get one of the best wide receivers that I've ever seen. Like the Eagles, a very specific thing right there. But yeah, Bears 3-7. That would be a little early to go wide receiver. I don't know. Trade back and get 2 of them. Yeah, I would. If you're going to be in the top 10, unless it's a Jamar Chase level talent, I'm not a fan of going receiver that early. If you can get like a premium edge rusher or a left tackle, I would do that. Yeah, their defense needs a lot of help after trading away Smith and a few other pieces. So he's fine. Mooney is really quality. I mean, he's like sort of a lesser. Sort of a lesser Jalen Waddle, right? Yeah, like that's how I think of Mooney. He's sort of like a discount version of Jalen Waddle. And Jalen Waddle on another team could easily be a true number 1, and that'd be fine. So I think there's going to be they can make some free agent moves. I mean, they are throwing a lot at the problem, right? They acquired Equanimous St. Brown. I think he's been like a nice story, but he just doesn't have the build. He's like, anytime you're like 6'5", 190, that BMI doesn't work at the wide receiver position. It doesn't work in football, period. Yeah. Maybe a quarter. Some flash plays, but that's it. I know, right? But it's just, you can tell, like, it's not quite. You need to be like Randy. He doesn't need to have like Randy Moss level speed to make that work. So. And then they're N'Keal Harry. I like at least this new regime in Chicago, trying to find the diamonds in the rough. Making an effort to get to try out, because eventually you take enough of these receivers off the scrap pile, one of them is going to hit. Well, N'Keal Harry was a first-round pick for a reason. Dante Pettis was a second-round pick for a reason. Like, it seemed like Pettis just couldn't get out of the doghouse, and then it ruined his career in San Francisco. So, God, Pettis gives me PTSD, because trading him was one of the first dynasty trades I made, or trading for him. That was a mistake. It's perfect, though. And for fantasy, what you want is a true number 1, no number 2 of consequence. Claypool just
forget it. And then you have the tight end. So you have a pass catching athletic tight end with a receiver with speed that can stretch the field. That's the perfect combination. Like that's what we were going to have with Lamar, with Andrews and Bateman. So it's a real shame we didn't get, because that's the perfect, when you have a mobile quarterback, that's the perfect combination.
Wait a minute.
Like with Lance to have like a Debo and a Kittle.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that's for fantasy, little bit crowded with Ayuk in there too. But that's the thing with fantasy. If it's just the two dudes, then everyone can eat, right?
Right. I just
and that's the thing with the Eagles. Yeah. The Eagles right now, I'm very, very bullish. I know they're injured and they're so they're not they're at least practicing on a limited basis, but I was not bullish on Devontae Smith up until this moment. So I'm feeling like I'm going to be right on Devontae Smith every step of the way. Like he's going to be super volatile. You're never going to know when to start him. He's best ball receiver. Sure enough, he's wide receiver 25 with like,
and he's had a number 1 finish.
Yeah. Number 1, number 119, number 54, number 12, number 54 again, number 69.
Well, the pass volume is so low, it's going to be either AJ Brown or Devonta Smith, or
you remove Goddard from the offense,
right?
And now you're down. You've whittled down the target distribution, the reasonable target distribution, just to just two guys. So now it's you can get very bullish on these guys for DFS, especially. I love playing AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in DFS. Certainly stacking with Hurts, but even when you don't stack with Hurts,
yeah, just playing them solo, like you're gonna play Hurts naked too.
So you don't need to play Hurts naked. The only quarterback I really play naked. We invented a new kind of stacking this year. We have a show called the Stack Fest on Roto Grinders with myself and Eric Beimfor and Dario Offstein. We invented a brand new type of stacking where you play Fields with two of the receivers on the other team.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant. We played Fields with Hill and Waddle. It was genius.